to make your own soap at home. You're tired of the harsh chemical perfume soaps that are just murder on your skin. And you know all those chemicals are bad for your health. You want to make little doable changes that lead to a healthy lifestyle. And this is one of them. You can make your own soap. It's very doable. I've made a recipe book that's really simple recipes that any beginner can do. I'm not a beginner and I love these recipes. And these are the recipes I use because they're awesome. Why search for more and be complicated? It's doable and it's healthy. That's all I'm looking for. In this video, I'm going to make one of my recipes in my book. Organic coconut and olive oil soap with rosemary. You'll be able to follow along and make this yourself at home. Let's go! Welcome to Becky's Homestead. This is what you're going to need for this organic awesome soap recipe. You're going to need 29 fluid ounces of coconut oil, which is right here, 51 fluid ounces of organic olive oil, 11.8 ounces of lye, and 29.5 ounces of distilled water. Also, which is optional, but I really like it, is I'm putting in 3.3 ounces of organic rosemary oil. And also I want to put some pink, I want to make pink soap. So this is organic coloring for the soap. If the coconut oil is solid, a good way to warm it up would be to put it in your car, in the window, and if your car's parked in the sun, and it'll warm that oil up lickety-split. You are gonna have to have some kind of molds. I love these cute little molds. It just makes the soap so beautiful, and then you can give it away, which makes really nice gifts for your family and your friends. You're gonna need a big stainless steel bowl. You're going to need a little mixer. If you can't afford a little mixer, you can hand mix with a stainless steel spoon. But if you plan on making soap quite often, this little mixer is just awesome. It's very important when you get a mixer to get stainless steel blades. You're going to need some safety gloves and a mask. When you're doing the lye in the water, it makes fumes. Also, you want to wear safety glasses because you know your eyes are so important and you wouldn't want that to splash on you. And vinegar. Don't forget vinegar. If you get any of the solution on you while you're making this soap, be sure and put vinegar on it. That will neutralize it. Don't run to the sink and put water on it. That won't work. You have to put the vinegar first. And then there's a little scale right here that you can see because you have to be very exact when you're measuring out soap ingredients if you want the bars to turn out good. It's very precise. So the scale is, to me, a must-have. You're going to need a thermometer so it can tell you when the water is the right temperature. If you're a newbie, this is really a must-have as well. It's really awesome. And then I have a cup, a plastic cup. The reason I have this plastic cup, you could use a little pitcher, secondhand pitcher, some little pitcher, is because when it's ready, you put it in the cup first and it makes it neat and tidy to pour it in the molds. All right, so you're gonna need 3 containers every time you make soap. You're gonna need a container for the lye crystals, and then you're gonna set that aside after you measure them. You're gonna need a container for the water, and it doesn't have to be fancy, as you can see, just this pours easy. So, and then you can have a separate container for the water, and then we use the bowl for the oil. Now with all our recipes, we try to make them as easy as possible so you don't have to measure too much. All you do, if you buy this size olive oil and this size coconut oil, you don't have to measure, you can just dump those in. Now let's measure out the lye and the water. Here we go, 11.8 ounces of lye. Okay, here you go, 11.8. Now we're gonna do the water. 29.5 ounces of distilled water. So there we go, 29.5. Okay, I'm going to add the lye to the water. Make sure all the doors and windows are open and you have a fan going for this part because it's fumey. And also it gets very hot. The water gets very hot. So when you're stirring it, make sure you stir it up so it's fully dissolved. It doesn't take much. It dissolves pretty quickly because it's very hot. Okay, so we're just gonna stir that up. That's very, very hot, so we're gonna wait till that comes down in temperature to 100 degrees. Okay, so the water is still cooling, so I'm gonna add the oil to the bowl. So I'm just gonna pour that in there. The good part is you don't have to measure it. It may just makes it so easy and convenient if you buy the same size containers that I'm using. Otherwise, you will have to measure. This is gonna make such nice soap. I love homemade soap. I've been using homemade soap for years and years and years. I just love homemade soap. There's no comparison. It's just awesome. This is gonna be slow going because this is designed to cook and add to your salad. Let me see if I squeeze it, if it comes out faster. Okay, so that's that. The key with making the soap is you have to have your little mixer ready and mix it up quickly. So plug that in, Scott. And then the temperature, when it comes time to put the water in the oil, you have to mix it quickly. That's when you have to not hurry, but you can't dilly-dally. You have to get it done because if it gets too thick, it's a pain in the neck to get it in the molds. So you have to really, you know, get going when it gets down to 100 degrees. Okay, now I'm gonna dump the water, the lye water, into the oil. So just go slow and start out with a spoon. And then once it's mixed pretty good with the spoon only, I switch to the little mixer. Okay, so then I'm gonna get this, and you pulsate this when you're mixing. You don't leave it on full blast. So put it under there. Okay, so then I'll pulsate for a minute, and then I'll just go like this and stir it and have a look at it, and then I'll just do it again. We're gonna mix this up until we get it to trace, but once I get it a little bit more than this, when it's a little thicker, I'll put the color and I'll put the fragrance in there. So just a little. I want to put the color in here now. But this is a beautiful golden color. I mean, if you didn't want to, you don't even have to put color in here. I'm going to put my bright pink in here. And we're going to mix this up a little bit. Now I'm going to get this wet. All right, now I'm going to add the rosemary. 3.3 ounces. This smells, oh my gosh, that smells so good to me. I don't like to add too much fragrance. I always just add 3.3 ounces because when I'm taking a bath, I just want a very subtle smell of the oil I put in there. I don't like it to be overpowering. Rosemary oil is purifying, so it makes the soap really nice. Now you might not be able to see this on camera, but it's getting thicker. I can feel that when I'm mixing it like this. Okay, so then I'm gonna stir it again. Right now I'm gonna talk about trace and what that is. As you can see, it leaves little lines in here. Now when you're doing a big batch like this and you have several molds to fill, you don't want the trace to be any thicker than this. You could keep going and it would be thicker and thicker, and then it'd be hard to get in the molds. So I'm gonna stop right then. And this is thick enough, and it's a little messy. I mean, it is a little messy. That's why you have your safety equipment. I'm gonna try to get as much as I can in this little cup. All right, so I'm gonna start with these little flowers because I love these little flowers. So again, be careful when you're pouring and make sure you wear your eye protection because it could splash up on you. Which, as you can see, it's really easy. It's not hard to make soap. Okay, so now I'm going to do the little hearts. And those I'm just going to, little rose-colored heart. They are perfect. They're just so cute. Okay, so I'm going back for the second cupful. It smells like so good with the rosemary. I can't even tell you. It is going to be just wonderful, wonderful soap. I make soap like once a year because I do give a little bit of the soap away, but I try to just keep it for me because I don't like to buy soap, and I'm usually really busy, so for me to make soap once a year it's usually enough. Then when I have any extra that I can't fit in these molds, I just put it in the loaf pan mold. And I'll just cut that into bars. So I'm gonna do this green on top of these little sunflowers right here. So it'll have like the rose on the bottom for the flower and some green for like the petals. That's what's so kind of charming about homemade stuff, is it doesn't have to be perfect. It's not like it's stamped out of a machine. I'm gonna pick this big bowl up and just dump it in here. So this makes quite a bit of soap, as you can see. Okay, I'm gonna use my little scraper I have here to just try to get as much as I can. It's like cake batter, you don't want to waste any. So I want to put the green on there. The green's pretty thick already. It's not too thick though, I can still work it. And then you just kind of go like that through it to get it down in there. So it's kind of artistic. There we go. I just have to clean up a little. So what I do is I make the soap, get it all in there, then I cover it with cardboard, and then I'm going to lay a towel over it. The reason you put the towel over it is you don't want it to cool off too fast. You want it to cool down slowly over the next 24 hours. Tuck it in like a little baby. Make sure you let it set overnight for 24 hours. A full 24 hours, and tomorrow we're going to take it out of the molds. I love helping, encouraging, and inspiring people to quit the rat race and get their life back. If you would like to support me in making more videos to help as many people as possible, I have a Patreon page. The link is in the description below. This is the unwrapping. Yay! I do always get excited about this because this is the soap I'm going to be using for a whole year. It usually lasts me a year, and I make soap once a year. I do give some of it away, but I don't like to give too much away because I like to use it for myself. I love, 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 love homemade soap. I highly recommend it. It's very healthy, it's good for your skin, and it's really fun to make it. When you have skills to make stuff, it does make you happier in life and like kind of sense of satisfaction somehow. Of course, this soap is going to have to cure. I find the longer it cures, the better it is. So the bars I use in 6 months seem to be even better than the bars I use in 2 months. But whatever, that's how it works out. It works out how it works out. Okay, so let's see. These were the ones I wanted to be a little bit tricky. Oh, I just love those. Now this is very rich soap. I ripped that out of there quickly. This is very rich soap. And then we're going to put it in this box with the needle point because it needs to air dry and cure. And I just stack them in here, and then I just leave them sit. You know, when I was poorer, because I had children at home, my 2 sons, I couldn't afford these molds, and I did just make it in a cardboard box, a shallow cardboard box with a garbage bag draped inside, and then I would just cut the bars, and it's perfectly fine. I loved the soap then too. But now that my 2 boys are grown and out of the house, I can afford these little molds, and they do take it up a notch, it's for sure. And it is really fun. But either way, you're still getting the awesome product, either way you do it. If you wanted to make it really smooth and pretty, like that's not perfectly flat across the top, you could take a potato peeler and you could get the edges smooth if you need to. I love the imperfections. I just think that gives it character and proves it's homemade. I absolutely love the imperfections. This soap is kind of soft after 24 hours getting out of the mold, and I put a little dent in that bar. So sometimes you have to be very careful. The olive oil coconut bar combined makes a softer bar. It's not a really hard bar like a coconut bar. A pure coconut oil bar is a harder bar. So this is really, really good for your skin, instead of all that chemical soap that they sell in the store. which, you know, you're like, oh boy. It's like they can put anything in there. They don't even have to like get tested or prove it's okay. They can just, whatever they want, they can just put it in there. And then we're just, you know, we're the recipients of that, the guinea pigs, which I don't like that feeling. Okay, now this last one I'm gonna have to cut. So I'm gonna get my soap cutter. I have a stainless steel soap cutter. What I wanna say is all these soap supplies that I've learned work really well for me. You can buy them in Becky's Favorites, and the link is in the description. Okay, so we're gonna get this big chunk out right here. I personally like pretty big bars, especially since I use them as bath bars. So now I'm just gonna cut these bars. Now these for sure are for me. I don't give these away because these are the least perfect, but these are just, it smells so good. And it is a big bar of soap, so it lasts in the bath a lot. I love to take a bath. To me, it's the utmost, I'm like kind of, I don't know if the word's eccentric or artsy fartsy. I just love my big old-fashioned bathtub. When I get in a shower and the water's beating down on me, I'm like, I feel assaulted. And you can see, just to make it a little interesting, I didn't want to waste the green soap, so I just put that through there. Okay, so I'm gonna put these in the box here. I'm gonna have to rearrange things a little better. They can be close, they can be really close. They just can't touch. Okay, so I'm gonna put these in here now. See if they all fit in one box. And surprisingly, this lasts me the whole year, even when I give some away. Now, what I'm gonna do with this box is I always put it on my shelf in my bathroom and I just let it sit there. That's all you do. It's so simple. You don't have to do anything. It's not ready to use yet. You have to let it cure for 6 weeks and then it'll be ready. Making your own soap is so much fun. Plus, making something that's healthy for your family is so rewarding. If you want to learn more, you can get my ebook, Becky's Simple Soap Recipes for Beginners. The link is in the description below. Happy homesteading. Bye-bye.